Doom.
It's pretty good.
You think Frodo ever makes it to Mount Doom at the end of that one Lord of the Rings Power series that's out on Amazon or something?
I think he needs to get carried at the end.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's one epic story that we're not going to be talking about today because we're talking about Eiichiro Oda's One Piece. Welcome back to the Grand Line Tourist, a chapter-by-chapter examining or re-examining of the epic manga. I, Jacob Jarecki, am your titular tourist, just here for the ride, here for the boat, here for the waves, here for the fish, here for the food. But I'm joined by none other than
Eric Sivu. The reason why we cannot talk about Lord of the Rings is because that belongs to Amazon, while One Piece belongs to Netflix. And obviously, Netflix is gonna buy us out soon, eventually.
Exactly.
We're gonna be the podcast that kind of goes. Would it be weird if we did? Because we are a recounting of the chapters. Do you think they could purchase us so we do a recounting of the episodes, so then we restart one more time?
To be honest, they always have companion podcasts for everything now.
They do.
Yeah, I feel like we're in line. I feel like we got to be like, if they had a list of people that were going to do the companion podcast, we would show up at the bottom of the list.
That's fair, because it would be literally every cast member and every caterer of the show before you and I are listed. Yes, I think that's true. But
I'm sure they did a quick Google. They went into the podcast players, they put in One Piece, and ours showed up, and they were like, okay. And then they said, yeah, we'll get the cast to do it.
Exactly, except for these bozos.
But there's a little bit of hope for us. There's a little bit of hope.
There's hope everywhere.
Yeah, just gotta look around. Just gotta open your eyes. Yeah, and so you know what? I'm gonna open my eyes and stare them straight at a letter from port that we have today. And we're very egotistical sometimes. We send letters of port to ourselves, so we have ways to pad this section of the podcast when we don't get any messages from our lovely touristing tour guides in training out there. It makes us so sad. But yeah, today I have an unsponsored message from not Netflix, not Amazon, but Viz Media, because today I had to use their online portal to read One Piece, which I had not done before. I'd been purely in the print issues, either from my library or from borrowing them from you. And today I got the full-fledged experience of the Viz Media online reading portal, and I can say that it works. It's good. I don't mind it.
Yes,
this unsponsored message is basically complete.
Jacob Jarecki says it works for Viz.com.
Oh, I mean, okay. If we want to actually dig into it just slightly, there's an option to turn on 2-page mode or 1-page mode. Yep. With 2-page mode, showing you the 2 pages at a time that I think, where the turn page would be properly. 1-page mode, I would imagine, is a little controversial, right? Because you don't get the proper, you wouldn't essentially know, unless you're like counting in your head as you go, which page flips are flipping to something you wouldn't already have seen and which ones you should have already seen,
Yeah, I don't like 1-page mode because sometimes there's 2-page spreads and you get half of it. And it's just not as cool.
That's true.
Yeah, they do. They do really cool in Viz Media, or at least for the digital, is that like they actually put they don't have the page break in it, right? So they just put the picture together, which is super neat.
That is nice. Yeah. So you heard it here first. Use 2-page mode when reading One Piece online. Don't use the 1-page mode for One Piece. Otherwise, the 2-page spreads won't look good. 2-page spreads
don't
and
use
2-page
the 3-page
mode.
spread because that's just weird.
Oh. Yeah. All right. And I heard there might be a little bit of news on your end.
I do.
We got another
letter.
letter.
Have a letter at port. In fact, it's a bill, and it's from none other than our non-sponsor, Fandango.
Whoa,
because
Fandango!
I just bought my ticket to the premiere of the One Piece new film titled Red. Yeah, I'm going to be watching it on November 3rd, which is the Thursday I think it comes out, which is super cool. It's going to be subtitled. It's going to be a movie theater really close to my workplace, so I'm just going to go across the street and watch it.
Nice.
One Piece movies are a lot of fun. I know there has been a few suggestions that we should watch some of them, and I think we can. I think we can watch the first one, which is in between, I think right before this. So right before this arc, technically. So there's no Sanji, but there's Usopp. So that kind of puts us where we should be. So we should check it out. We'll talk about it off pod, off cast.
Yeah, no, we were debating that you potentially need to see this first to make sure there's not any gigantic spoilers that would ruin the manga for me or stuff that's to come. But yeah, yeah, when I put it into the little just, Google search bar, I was impressed that, like, oh, this is getting a legit release. Like, the movie theater that's near me had like 4 or 5 showings a day for at least the week, which seems pretty big. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think slowly anime movies are doing better and better here over the West for their releases.
Yeah.
I think they realized that, especially if it's tied to like a big franchise, like the My Hero movies have been doing well, and then the Demon Slayer movie did very well over the pandemic. So I think that's one of the things that they're trying to catch fire one more time with, like, can we do it with other properties? See if it earns a little bit more.
Yeah, it seems like at a minimum you get your like 1-day special event, and then if you're like anything bigger, you get like, oh, well, you're just gonna sit in the theater for a little while, and you're just like, oh, well, cool.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if do I have any One Piece things I can wear? I need to figure it out. I should try to get some sort of One Piece.
We can just buy a hat.
I have a One Piece
Straw hats
shirt.
are pretty cheap.
I do have a hat. Is that my only One Piece thing? Man, I need to spread out. I need to get some One Piece stuff.
You need to push towards that 3-page, 4-page spread out.
Oh yeah, there we go. I should get a 3-page. I should get a 3-page sweater or something. You know what I mean? Oh yeah.
Woo!
Shall we jump?
We're tying things up here. Yeah, we're gonna jump right into our itinerary for Chapter 68, delivered by none other than, I'm a little nervous, but, I'm here to do it.
Why are you nervous? At the very least, you've done 34 of these 68.
Whoa, you think we've... well, let's see if the math works out. Someone delivered to us. Did we ever mess up? Did we ever give someone of us, 2 episodes in a row? I don't know. Maybe I've only done 33. Maybe after this one, I'll be not nervous. But right now, got a little bit of nerves. And we're doing Chapter 68. Just going to dive right into it.
Yep.
The 4th person. Okay. Luffy refuses to take Sanji on board because, Sanji doesn't want to go. I mean, Luffy's... He's not into that sort of thing.
You can't make the cool kid go if the cool kid doesn't want to go. That's what that is.
He'll try, but he's not going to make you,
Right.
Then we just get a nice Panda Shark crashing onto the deck, which happens to bowl over Sanji. And, it's not a Panda Shark. It turns out it's not even a merman, but it's Saku, who we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. And how do you get in there? These are questions. These are the real questions.
These are questions.
Yeah.
I feel like why are we doing this movie about Shanks when we could be having a movie about Yusaku and how we got into that, the Panda Shark, just the whole little thing right there. The most important character in One Piece.
That's the script you and I are working on.
Yeah. No, come on, Netflix. We're ready. And this is where we learn that Yusaku is he's been going after Nami, and he thinks he might know where Nami's headed, and this is kind of spurring some action into all our characters needing to move on, get off the Baratier and whatnot, and in a turn of events, Sanji decides to go with Luffy and the crew, and he tells everyone that yep he heard them whispering. He was behind that thin wall that we discussed it. We weren't sure. We were like, what's up with it? But no, of course.
Maybe they're just
idiots.
They're
idiots / they wanted him to know. Who knows? But everyone's a bit grumpy and irritable. It seems like maybe they are actually dreading their favorite kicking cook leaving the crew. We'll have to see more about that in a bit. But Luffy and everybody, they're preparing to go after Nami in whose ship? There's no ships left, Eric. I feel like we've detached different parts of the Baratier. How are they gonna possibly go after anybody?
Baratier has a lot of ships apparently, because Sanji has his own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he's keeping it, but Sanji's got his own ship. It doesn't look too bad. It's got a nice striped look to it. It kind of seemed.
Sure.
Yep. Sanji then starts to reminisce about his time on the Baratier. We see him with Chef Zeph. They're just purchased the Baratier. We see Sanji's first cigarette. Patty and Karn coming aboard, showing up after they saw the wanted ads for some crap chefs. We see some abuse of Sanji by the chef. We see some abuse of the customers by Sanji, and so on and so on. It seems like a very healthy work environment for everybody involved.
Oh yeah, it's totally working out. There's no HR in the Baratier.
No, or if they were there, they didn't last long. They got kicked by Sanji, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure.
Patty and Karn take a quick but short-lived attempt to attack the leaving Sanji. This is kind of like, I feel like the first real, we understand Sanji's leaving. When he gets attacked by his buds, as he's walking towards his own ship, this is getting real. And Sanji, he's trying to ignore it all. He tries to leave without saying goodbye, but when Zeph says it, he just crumbles and cries and thanks the chef for everything. And then, whoosh, chef's kiss.
Sweet,
we're off.
Yes.
We're out of there. Whew. Indeed. But before we get into the crying,
yes, before we get into the deconstruction, hear ye. Dang, I did the same thing. This just end. I'm getting my sound bites all mixed up. This is why we need to buy like a soundbite machine. We can't just be.
We could
but
sample
no,
ourselves into it.
We're organic boys. We got to use our organicness.
Woo! Buggy's crew after the battle. What part are we on? There's so many
23.
parts.
Suspicious parts.
So many parts.
Suspicious parts. What are these parts? Where are they? What are these? What?
I think I know I think I know what these parts are. This is we got our little buddy, our chibi, our little buddy.
The pieces to un-chibify Buggy is what they're looking at.
Yeah, and they were tied up. Were they buried?
No, they were tied up and put on his grave. Remember, they put it on top.
Okay.
They didn't bury it.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is very strange.
That would be interesting if you think about it, right? Like compared to what a regular funeral is. Just imagine, like, oh yeah, we buried his body, but we kept his head. We just put it outside.
Yeah, it also kind of. I think their logic was like, they're not rotting, or I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's true. I have to admit, it is kind of if there was a body part of mine that would stay looking completely fresh forever, and it was my head, I'd be like, I guess you can leave it outside. Why not? Be creepy, be fun, good for Halloween.
Maybe he'll swing back around or something, right? Like who knows?
Yeah.
In this case, we know that he's close by, so them untying it's gonna probably as a foreshadow. I love the angle of this cover though, huh? Like the angle's really cool.
Yeah.
It's actually like like an over the shoulder, over the limb shot of the limbs towards
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking up we can see our strange they're the bear claw tribe?
The Kumate.
The Kumate. What was you told me their symbol looks like the island. I was trying to think of what it was, but it's kind of cool. They have a question mark that is.
But the symbol looks like the island. The symbol also represents people in the stew. It's really cute.
Yeah, and then we got the people in the stew in the background looking. And to be honest, I think the people in the background. This is I think this is a softball. What's going to happen next? These now untied Buggy body parts are going to come to life. They're going to start flying around and beating people up, I think. I don't even know if that's worthy of a tinfoil, but I'm excited to see it happen, hopefully.
I know.
Or they're going to zoom back to Buggy.
I also love that he used Richie as just like a point of context for a crew member that we can still recognize. Like regardless of what it is, you can see Richie everywhere.
Yeah, he's just his mane and his face are slightly bigger than the average human's face, making him ideal for like signal spotting everyone is.
This is a spoiler for about 1,000 chapters in the future, but I just saw Richie again and my heart skipped.
What? 1,000 chapters in the future, we see Richie again? That could be very bad because that could mean we go 1,000 chapters without seeing Richie. Do we have 1,000 Richie-less chapters? I think I'm gonna quit the podcast, Eric. 1,000 Richie-less chapters? You gotta be kidding me.
Don't
He's
quit.
Such an iconic character.
Don't quit like Sanji did. Let's talk about the chapter.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about the chapter.
This final chapter of this Baratier arc. Can you believe it? 68 chapters in, Jacob. Wow. And we haven't even... I feel like we've gone pretty far, but let's save that for the short leave. Obviously, that's the thing. But I will say here, this is the last chapter of the arc, at least where we're putting a pin in it. Where we're deciding that it's over. And, there's tears, there's crying, so it feels like it's making sense.
Yeah. No, that's actually a funny thing. It seems like we are getting into a standard of arcs end with big zooms on faces and tears.
Yeah, and I think that's fair because they're ending on gigantic change, at least for this East Blue saga, because people are leaving. People are leaving their home. They're going on their adventurous journey, their hero's journey.
I just couldn't help but picture Kobe, his face filled with tears. Usopp, face filled with tears. Sanji, face filled with tears. And I was like, this is the thing.
Hey, but who hasn't done a face full of tears yet?
Has Luffy not really had a face full of tears?
Oh, he did. I mean, when Shanks lost his arm.
Okay.
But I'm thinking about who just left.
Oh, Nami?
Yeah, dude. Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet. That's true. Because she's not a member of the crew, Luffy. She told you that. Just partners. Just partners.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to get her back. We're going to chase her.
Well, they're going to chase the wake. They're going to chase her wake.
Yeah, it's like I do this on the freeway sometimes behind cars. Traffic's going a little slow. I get like an extra 1 mile per hour speed bump.
Yeah.
5 miles to 6 miles an hour.
All right, let's talk about the big thing here in this chapter. Sanji's leaving. It's done.
Sanji is leaving.
It's done. And do you think, like... it happened fast, and I'm wondering how much of that was like Oda, like, oh, we just need to get this done. But I'm happy that he is going. I knew he was going, but do you think was this fulfilling the way that he's leaving? Like he decided to go?
It actually was. I have a breakdown on this for you.
Let's do it.
And it's going to start with the words that Sanji uses when he kind of agrees to leave with Luffy. He says, we both have foolish dreams, so I might as well go with you. And it makes me feel like, I don't know, I think Sanji is on board to leave, but honestly, it almost isn't his decision, right? Like, he's leaving because he heard everyone telling him that he should go, almost. Yeah. Like, he didn't, like, it wasn't like, if they didn't do that, Sanji wouldn't have left, you know?
Yeah.
So he's being pushed out of this place that, although I think he says, you know, it's crap, you know, I gotta prove myself to the chef, yada yada. He loves this place, you know, and he's being pushed out it by the people that he loves. And so I think it happening fast and feeling awkward is kind of makes sense for this sort of move for any sort of person, you know, when you're being pushed away from something you love by people that you love because they think you need to grow in some sort of fashion. I think that's always a little bit rough and tough. And that even for me worked really well with, you know, Luffy's like, aren't you going to say goodbye, Sanji? And Sanji's like, no, we're good, right? And then he just falls apart when the chef finally says goodbye.
And I think a lot of it is hearing it from Zeph, too. Like, Zeph smacking him with his hand, Zeph saying that he needs to go. He knows it's time to go, but I think they did, what's really cool is that they showed us the flashbacks of just all the good moments that Zeph and, because like the flashback before is Zeph losing his leg and Sanji being the cause of that, right? But all of these other ones, despite like getting abused and getting smacked by his boss and all that stuff, it is good moments of him hanging out with Zeph. Even though Zeph says that he never wanted kids and he regretted saving them every day.
Oh yeah, this is just. I think that was when Chef said that. I was thinking, he's upset about Sanji's leaving.
Oh,
yeah.
You're still thinking Old Yeller, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Boom. As we established, not Old Yeller.
No, but he's just you know. When you have that sort of relationship with somebody that's a bit like fighting, a little bit gritty, angry, sort of, you know, a little bit, I think maybe is a stereotypically masculine way to hide your feelings behind a little bit of anger and pushing. I think that was just like one of the big pushes. Like, I never even, you know, if I could do it again, I would never have had you on my ship, right? Yeah. Like, because you're not going to be here now. Oh, I'm crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I do appreciate about this goodbye is that in real life, I think people would have just left it as like, that's what that old man said to me, and I never talked to him again. I'm glad that in this chapter, at least Oda showed that it's okay for men to cry and for them to really, for Sanji to, because it does take Zeph saying that kind word of keep your feet dry, even though that's like such a dad thing to say or a grandpa thing to say. But it's cool to see Sanji cry, and it's cool to see everybody else cry and saying like, this is a sad thing. It's a good sad. It's the end of an era for Sanji, because he does need to go.
No, and what you said there with the keep your feet dry, right? It's going to launch us into one of my translation notes that I looked up for this time.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the, there's a few parts in this chapter I was like, I wonder if anyone's done it a little differently. And so it honestly isn't too much different, but instead of, hey, Sanji, keep your feet dry, we have, hey, Sanji, don't catch a cold. So I almost want to say it both work just as well, like the exact same sentiment. But it kind of emphasizes what you were saying, which is not really a very personal goodbye, right? No. It's kind of very just like...
But like, that's the most personal you're going to get from Zeph, right?
Well, I think also... Yeah, I think maybe Zeph in general wouldn't give a personalized goodbye. And then also, I think Zeph is getting emotional. And so, you know, he wants to say something. This is all he can say, you know, and this is all he has to say, because Sanji melts, right? Like, Sanji's dead after this. He could have been like, hey, Sanji... take a few more steps and then you'll be on the boat, and then like he just would have cried, you know. It didn't matter what Zeph was gonna say. So I like that thought in my little translation note here. Keep your feet dry, don't catch a cold.
I love the
you left your hat, you know, yada yada, you know. Sanji's gonna burst into tears.
I love the goodbye, you crap guys. Just he's not gonna stop. That's the thing he says, right? Luffy says gum gum, Sanji says crap all over the place.
Sanji says crap, and I mean him and the chef kind of have it back and forth, right? We get a lot of craps one way, craps the other way.
And it is one of those things, right? We get to see he is not like Jin. He is not like it's just he gets this opportunity to say goodbye to his hero and the person who saved his life and like he owes so much to, and the person, Zeph is saying that you should go, and it's great. This is a fun little ending for Sanji and the Baratier.
No, and I'm actually curious. Have you ever felt like you've had a situation where someone was pushing you to leave similar to this? So like when someone pushes you to do something that you're not really sure, that you don't necessarily like, you're not fully on board with doing, but you think you should, and then they're all telling you to do it, and then you're just like, oh, I feel really emotional. Like, has this moment ever happened in your life, do you think?
I think the only thing I've ever been pushed into was the idea of, in high school, was auditioning for a musical, and I think that was very scary because I never thought that I could do that stuff. I mean, I always sang as a kid in choir and stuff like that, but I remember my choir teacher being like, "You should audition for this musical," and when I did, I got in, and that kind of put me on the path I am now, which is like performing arts all the time. So that was really neat. But it wasn't like forcing me to leave a situation, like forcing me to say bye to a place that I'm used to go to somewhere else. Only feeling was, I think I've always known that college was something I had to do. And usually in my head, I already made the choice of leaving my city to do so. So that was pretty emotional. I think high school was kind of a big point for a lot of folks. Or to kind of leave something familiar to do something crazy. Because you did the same thing, right? You left your hometown to go to school.
Yeah, I wound up not being too far away, but even still, the moment felt very similar to this. I just remember this I think I did exactly the same sort of thing. I did exactly the same thing Sanji does here, which was like I didn't really say goodbye. I just said, well, like, we've unpacked my stuff. This is my dorm. Like, I feel like we're done here.
It's did you have any like last summer of high school sort of deal before you went to college?
No, I was seeing my friends from high school throughout that whole summer,
Yeah.
But there was some friends that I knew. Ultimately, I wasn't I wasn't so far away that I wouldn't be able to like visit them on occasion. Oh yeah,
mine was.
It wasn't the like, oh, I need to take a plane flight to see you guys again. It would be like, oh, I gotta, come back to my hometown, an hour and a half drive or something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, mine was a little further.
Yeah, no,
it's
like interesting that there's.
Yeah,
so it's a difference. It is a difference. It's funny, like the degrees of which it matters. And so here, I think in One Piece, the degree is big, right?
Yeah,
like Sanji,
because he's saying, let's go to the Grand Line. There's a chance that they never come back to the East Blue at all.
I mean, unless maybe Luffy and Sanji really like the restaurant, and they're like, let's go find the Brautier and eat again.
I guess
I don't know. I don't know how feasible that is.
Because most of them are from the East Blue, so they come back home, right? Yeah. Eventually, there's a chance they come back and visit home. But it is really, this is a little more definite, and I actually wanted to bring this up to you because I know that you've done this, which is leaving a job, like leaving your work family and stuff like that. And I've done this before too, like a few times. Did you get this feeling? Because you know how like work families can definitely be like a thing or anything. Did you get this sort of feeling when you left your like a job?
No, I think the funny thing for me is whenever I've left jobs, it's been fairly self-motivated. No one's pushing me to leave, which is the difference between this and Sanji right here. It's not like I had, some really, really deep calling that everyone knew about, and they're like, get out of here, Jacob. You got to go do your thing. It was more me telling myself that, which I think makes it even harder, because then it's like a little bit more of a surprise for your coworkers, and they're like, they don't have as good of a grip on what you're doing. And I mean, like, not that I did. It just was like more of a thing that I felt like I should do. So yeah, I ultimately I think this chapter captures really well the awkwardness of leaving and goodbyes. And because whenever I've done a work goodbye, I mean, even recently I left like a job that I hadn't had for too long, like just 8 months or so, and I felt like, whoa, I just had this weird sense of this place where I've spent a lot of time.
Yep.
I'm now gonna be away from. And I liked being at that place, and so that just feels weird, Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know.
It's the I don't know what sitcom did it, but it's like the moment when you know something's gonna end, you get super nostalgic and you don't really want to let go of the place. I feel like this chapter really captures that of Sanji, like he knows he has to go, but it's really hard for him to let go. And then they all want it's hard for all of them to let go. Patty and Carney try to fight him one last time, and they get beat up.
Yeah, wait. Oh, and what do they pull out? What do they got? This is
giant
a question for you. What are they holding?
Like
Not big ice cream scoops.
It could be that too. It could be giant scoopers.
No. I think maybe ladles. I think you're right. They're definitely big spoons. They got that circular, like, looks like they could scoop out a decent amount of soup out of a bowl or something. But I was like, ooh,
so
ice
good.
They
They're such thug-looking people in the past.
Oh yeah, they look rad.
Yeah, they look.
They look so
like
cool.
Yakuza, like early 2000 Yakuza members. Great. great.
No, I was like, oh, that is a great look for them. Sunglasses, shirts untucked.
Try to prod you a little bit here, and try to see if I can get a TFT out of you.
TFT.
But
wait. That's a
tinfoil time.
A tinfoil time. Wait a second. Wait, I actually got. You know what? Before you even prod the tinfoil time on me, I have one written down, ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the one I think you're hoping for / want, but it's a tinfoil time, nevertheless. You know?
Okay.
In this flashback, we see Chef Zeph say, don't start smoking. It'll scuttle your sense of taste, right? Which is, I mean, that's a big deal for a chef. And Sanji, I feel like he's a liked character. I think on one of our I don't know, that One Piece character ranking page, he came up pretty high, So I think he's going to be around a while. And I think a visual character moment of growth that could be very impressive for Sanji is Sanji's going to stop smoking at some point in the future. And I also think it's going to, maybe even it could be Oda responding to maybe smoking falling. I don't actually know how it is in Japanese culture. Maybe it's still not a big deal. But I think like over here in America, it's kind of a, what? You put a smoking kid inside your manga for kids? What's wrong with you?
I think Asian countries overall have a different opinion about smoking.
No, I think so too. But even still, I think it would be a cool thing to have happen to Sanji one day as like a moment of character growth. Because right now, like I said, he called his dream foolish. Like, I'm going to go follow my foolish dream with you, Luffy. When he embraces no, this is what I want. I'm going to actually, this is my dream. It's not foolish. It's important. Maybe that's going to be, in addition, that's going to have a, you know what, I need to care about my health a little bit. Or just maybe it'll be more like casual. Just Sanji's going to be like, you know what, now that I have the all blue, I don't need this cigarette anymore. And he just puts it out and never lights it again. Like, I want to see that image used. I feel like Oda would pull for it.
We talked about how in the Viz Media American edit of One Piece, he's not smoking, but he has a lollipop.
I think you did mention it, and I forgot about it. So that's how far it went. In the one where, like, I mean, I just read the Viz one with you today. So it's which Viz one has the lollipop? Because right now we saw the one with smoking.
So when the anime got sent over to America, they edited out the cigarette and they gave him a lollipop stick.
Oh wow! Wait, does that mean that like the anime there's like 2 versions of every episode? One with Sanji smoking, one with Sanji lollipop.
There has to be.
Holy moly!
And then at one point they stopped doing that because they realized that One Piece was probably watched more by adults.
Okay, and so now he's full on smoke.
Yeah, now I'm pretty sure he's smoking in the episodes for sure.
Oh, he's smoking a lollipop. No, very interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. No, but you were
about what dangers are here to come, or about to come in this next arc. Do you have a guess?
Well, I mean, we got panda sharks left and right. They take humans and they take them underwater, and then they leave. They just spit them up on other boats. Who knows where everyone's going to end up?
That's the One Piece film we need. The Yusako and Johnny One Piece film, dude.
No, but it is interesting because that was another thing that I went and I can't remember exactly what Yosaku says, but he says like the place that they're going is is dangerous to some.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how he words it, but like I can't believe Nami's going there, right? Yeah, and I don't think I actually have a great guess or read on where that there could be. I don't think it's like the Grand Line. It feels like it's got to be different than that. Where would Nami want to go? She's got treasure. She either needs to pay off a debt or pay money to somebody, or she wants to like stockpile it in her treasure palace. So we're either going to Nami's treasure palace or to some place where she needs to pay off a big debt. That's my current guess.
Wait, so which one? Okay. Should I write down?
I'll go off with debt. Debt sounds cooler. I don't think Nami has a treasure palace. I mean, if she does, she may have a treasure palace as well where she keeps her treasure, but I don't think that's where we're headed. But that would be interesting. That would lead to an arc about Nami that is like Nami being like Smaug sitting on like piles of treasure and them being like, come with us. And she's like, why would I go? I have all the treasure in the world right here, which I think would just be a very, very interesting and weird arc. So I think we're going to get the
navigator is what you're describing.
All right, let's jump into some ha-has.
Oh, yeah.
You go first.
There was a lot.
There was a lot in this one. It's great.
I don't get it. No, I do get it. Luffy says that at some point, and it's just like, oh my goodness, the logic of this kid.
Remember, because Yosako says, I'll tell you more on the way, but we need your strength. And it's great for Luffy to go, I don't get it. But wait, I do get it.
Yeah. What do you got?
My favorite thing is also from Luffy is when Zeph's like, so you won't take Sanji? He's like, no. Seconds?
Oh, yeah, he just cares about the food.
Yeah, but it's also because Zeph's pointing at him, and he's pointing back with his bowl.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, fill this up, top me off. And
Zeph's not pointing.
Continue to...
It's just an over-the-shoulder shot with his shoulders thing, but it's just great. So you won't take him unless he agrees to go? That's right, says Luffy, munching seconds. Great.
And then they're packing up Sanji's boat, and just... How long will you be at sea? What are you going to need? Meat. We need more meat. That's all Luffy seems to be caring about.
Yeah, and how long will you be at sea? I don't know.
Just give us as much as you got.
It's great. Luffy's great. He's perfect. He's the perfect protagonist in this world that we decided to live in. Oh, coloring corner too, at the end of the chapter. We should color one of these one day.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a bad challenge. We have to print it and then judge who's better. It'll be like a real panel battle, like this coloring is not something that it's very easily to judge. I feel like I gotta go buy a crayon box, but regardless,
I've been miniature painting, so I feel ready for this challenge. Let's do it.
Using crayons is way different, but that said, I already I said the words, and so I have summoned the section of the podcast. We are now entering the panel battle. We did a good job naming this. It's got explosive to
dude. Yeah, I felt very Mad Max Fury Road just now. That's the vibe I was trying to go for.
There's another one of those coming eventually. I'm excited.
There's another movie. They're making another one.
I think it's good. I think it's called Furiosa. I think it's going to be the backstory.
Oh,
so
Charlize
I got exciting stuff.
Oh, Charlize Theron. Okay.
I actually think they got another. It's going to be a younger version, so it's going to be some other actor playing her.
If it's not Charlize Theron, then I'm not going to watch this movie.
Oh, but I think it's. I'll have to look up who it is later, off the battle, because right now we are going to see.
Is that Anna Joy Taylor Joy? And,
wait, do you know this? I think it could be.
Is that her? I don't think that's the closest person I can think of that kind of looks like a young.
No, I think it's.
And who's big right now?
I think it's the girl from Midsommar.
Oh, Florence Pugh.
Okay, I could be wrong. I'm now really confused. Is it Anna Taylor-Joy or is it Florence Pugh? Or am I just making stuff up right now? But
Pugh. What did I say? I said Hugh.
Something we definitely made up though is this section where you get in your off-road dirty vehicle and I get in my off-road dirty vehicle. We both hold our panel battle. It's like our panel. What do you call it in war where you have a stick and there's a thing on it that represents who I'm from house whatever, I'm representing house. A banner. Yes. Mm-hmm. We take our panels, we stick them on a banner, we charge at each other, we do some lance fighting. Mm-hmm. There's a word for lance fighting too. I'm just out of words today, but what's lance jousting? Oh my goodness.
Wow,
okay, Eric. Eric, I think I need you to take over here. I think I have destroyed the intro of the panel battle.
And just so you know, your banner there for your panel can be included in this jousting also. If you'd like to include that by emailing in at grandlinetourist@gmail.com. Again, that email address is nameofpodcast@gmail.com. You kind of come on in. Yeah, dog. It's great. Let's fight. Mine's
all right,
first.
Boom. You know what? No, yeah, yours is first. I wasn't going to give you the option, so I clicked it before you even said that, just to let you know. And let's see what we got here. Oh my goodness, we have I'm reading left to right. What's wrong with me?
Look at this
man,
American.
I'm just falling apart. It's harder when you only have one panel. When there's all the panels, I always do the right thing. But when there's just one, sometimes I fall back into
Jacob,
my
you always have to do the right thing even when no one else is looking. Or in this case, even when no other panel is looking.
Don't you mean I always have to do the left thing?
All right, do your thing.
Here we go. All these years, I lived under your crap roof. Doom! We have Sanji completely supplicating himself, head on the floor. We just see his white soles of his shoes, and we see Zeph far off in the distance on the second floor of the... they put so much distance between each other. That's how much they love each other. They can't possibly stand to be near each other while the other is leaving. We see Chef Zeph's hat just going slightly above the top of the brassiere. All the other chefs are looking a little bit distraught and sad as well. And it just, it's this big iconic moment. We see Sanji's head upside down, mouth open, the tongue classically huge, and yeah, we just get this
And
explosion
he's bowing,
of feeling.
man. Like the highest level of respect for your elders for anybody, and like just typical Asian culture stuff. That's like a universal Asian thing too. It's nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's something that although it's not like something we do in Western Americanized culture at all, I feel like it always reads. You know what I mean? Like, even before you see your first example of this in some sort of movie or something from Japanese culture, you just, probably.
I figure that's most kids' exposure.
Yes, authentic exposure with Tom Cruise. That said, I feel like it always reads. Like, there's nothing, it's like, someone has put themselves lower in every way possible, head down in respect.
Yeah.
And so you see that respect here. You see that love, I dare say.
I also think it's
sadness.
really cool that he's bowing towards. I mean, like Zeph is up there, but it's also like he's bowing towards the Baratier, like at this location, this big part of his life, who's made him the chef that he is today, and made him the person he is today. Essentially, you know what I mean? It's all of these things that he's very thankful for, and there's a chapter that's ending. I thought that kind of culminates in a very good picture.
Oh yeah, and just to include everything, he had to do a little bit of fisheye lens down there just to get like everything he wanted in the frame. So just bursting
and all the
energy
chefs,
and emotion.
Like it's so cool. He does a lot of cool staging with his a lot of cool blocking with his characters in this chapter. There's a lot of cool things that he just there's that really cool shot with I don't know. I don't want to say anything until I see yours, and then I can mention this one.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, go ahead and check out mine.
Okay. Oh no, we did
summon the sound. Boom. Yeah.
Wait, unless you chose the one in the bottom. We were so.
Oh yeah, I did send you 2 panels, and I should have just said yes. It's the panel right below. No, it's gotta be.
It's the same one. Yeah,
it's the same one.
This is the chapter. This is a poster.
This is a poster. There's no way you couldn't pick this one. I had some other panels I did quite like, and I saw this one in the instant, and I was like, yeah, it's this one. Sanji.
Yeah.
Like Sanji's such an iconic look. And then you put him in this position, and the look like really completes itself, right? Those white soles of the shoes against like his completely black tuxed, suave, whatever he's usually wearing, and then the classic scream of emotion, but upside down. I don't think we see that a lot upside down. The big tongue and the mouth all the way open like that.
Oh, it's so good. It's such a nice little moment to end this arc on. Some shout outs. While Patty and Carney are yelling that they're going to miss him, they are exactly framed and blocked the same way as our introduction in the flashback, both in the same location.
Oh.
Yeah, Carney on the left, Patty on the right. Some other cool shout outs I have to say is there's a flashback where some dumb pirates are trying to attack the Baratier, and you have the really cool shot of like Sanji, Patty, and Carney all standing and ready for battle. And Carney has the knife. And
you want to attack us?
Yeah. So
you attacked the wrong restaurant, my friend.
So cool. And it's just these things that kind of reinforce, like, we didn't see all of these moments happen, but like putting them in a flashback makes you feel a lot of the weight of what Sanji's leaving behind.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the Baratier is gonna be fine without him, and he's gonna be fine out there on his own. But he needs to build this story. He needs to chase this dream.
Indeed. Oh,
right?
Isn't it
weird
to move on?
That the all blue is an ocean filled with all the fishes from the different seas, and like the Baratier is a restaurant filled with all these different cooks that come from different places to be there.
Yeah, no, it is it's an all blue of a different type, Yeah. That is a really, really cool thing to point out. Yeah, that was actually in the flashbacks as well when they point out, wouldn't that, like, I think it kind of, they do like a little bit of a reiteration of where Sanji gets his desire to feed people from. They say, bloodthirsty cutthroats or escaped convicts, if they're hungry and can make it to this restaurant, then there's a reason for us to keep fighting, And actually, this was another one that actually in translation, I think has a little more oomph.
Yeah.
But, so we got Sanji, let's say, for instance, the worst, foulest man, the filthiest escaped prisoner comes to our restaurant because he's so starving, he's on the verge of death. Wouldn't that mean there was a meaning for us to continue running this place? I was like, ooh, a little more emphasis in that one, I think, than the other one. But they both have the same point. Very nice.
You can die, but not from hunger.
No, not when the Baratier exists. Yeah, not when that's what we're here for. They're like a really weird food-based Coast Guard.
All right, I got the noise we're gonna end on.
Ooh.
And this noise is whatever noise you think a panda shark makes.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, I think we should do just to let the listeners really cue in on what we decide. You do yours, I'll do mine, and we do that back and forth until we feel like we've satisfied everybody.
All right. I don't even know what noise a shark makes.
No, you just got to do it. Right. Embody the panda shark.
Oh, here we go. Okay. This is gonna be the winner right here. Here we go.
Ooh, no, I think you think that's the winner.
Yeah. What was that?
The Jaws theme. The Jaws theme being sung by a lazy panda. How do you not get that? Oh my goodness.
Keep it all in.
It's all in. It's all in.
Slow
but
fade out.
we, my friend, we're out of here.